Hello everyone. So in this video I want to demonstrate how to write Hello World using Visual Studio. Now if you have watched the videos that I have posted, you will notice that I use Vim to write all my code, but if you want to use Visual Studio to practice, then this video will show you how to actually do that instead of using Vim. Okay, so this is Visual Studio, so I'm going to close it, and what I will do, I'll open the terminal and I will create a directory. Let's say mkdir go code cd go code. Right, and then let's create another directory. So one thing I want you to get practice doing is to make a directory for every program that you write. Okay, so if you're going to write hello world, we're going to make a directory named hello world. If you're going to write a program that lets you see how to do loops, then we're going to create a directory named loops, whatever name you want to give it. Okay, but the idea is always be sure to create a directory for every single Go program that you write. Okay, so this one is hello. Okay. All right. So I am inside my hello directory. Now the first thing I will do, I am going to create a module. Okay. So a module simply allows us to be able to import libraries if we need them. Okay, external libraries, third-party libraries, libraries that are written by other people. Okay, so even though Hello World will not use any external libraries, this is something that you always need to do because it's sort of standard practice, and it ensures that when you do need external code, you already know what to do. Okay, so the first thing we always do is to tell Go that we want to have the ability to import third-party libraries. So I'll simply say Go mod init, and then we need to specify an identifier, which is usually a URL. So for me, I like to do my last name first, then my first name, and then I say .net. Okay, and then / I put the name of the program. So let's call it hello. Okay, so this part here will change depending on the name of your program, for example. All right, well, this part. Okay, so I'm going to press enter. All right, and when I type ls, you'll see that there's a go.mod file. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use touch to simply create the name of my Go file. So let's call it hello.go. Okay, all right, and the last thing we do, we're going to say go mod tidy. Okay, so that the module knows about this file. Okay, all right, good. So everything seems to be okay. And so what we want to do, we want to actually open our hello .go program using Visual Studio. So all we have to do is to type code space and a dot. The dot means this directory. Open this directory using Visual Studio Code. Okay, and these are the steps we always do. Okay, so this is my hello.world. Okay, try to make my screen larger. Command Shift plus. Nope, Command plus. Okay, I guess I'll have to figure that out, but we should be able to make our screen larger. Yeah, but for some reason, it seems to not making messy. Anyway, let's continue. So the first thing we need to do is to always create a package. Okay, every Go program that you write belongs to a package. Now, regular Go programs usually belong to the main package. Okay, if it's just a standalone program, so we'll say package and the name of the package, which is main. Okay. So you'll notice that there's a format in writing Go code. Okay, so 2/ for comments. We specify the package name. Okay. All right. Next, we specify any imports. In other words, libraries. Okay. Go has a wonderful library. Okay. Where most of what you ever need to do is found right inside Go. Alright, so we'll say import, and all we need is the package that allows us, and let me not say sorry. Instead of saying library, I'm going to use the proper term, which is called package. So in Go we say package. So I'm going to use the FMT package. Okay, and the FMT package allows us to do input output. Okay, just like what IOStream would do in C++. Okay, so just like C++, Go has a main function. So we say func main. Okay, and of course in here we're going to write our code. So we always specify the name of the package and the function that you want. In our case, let's use print line. So print line. Okay, and so notice Visual Studio Code is smart enough to give us the possibilities. And let's just say hello world from Go. Okay. Okay. Right. Now one thing, notice I saved the program at the end. One thing with Go, the compiler is very strict. Okay. And it's a very nice compiler. I find it very enjoyable to work with. So one thing, it doesn't allow you to have like unused variables or unused packages. So for example, let me get rid of this. Let me cut it. Okay, so let's say that I said, oh, let me save my work. Control S. Okay. Notice the package disappears. And the reason is the compiler will say, okay, this person is trying to import this package, but they're not using it in their code. And so Go deletes it. Okay. So what I like to do, I like to not save or not press Control S until I have written a bit of code that uses that package. Okay. Control S. Okay. Now, another way, one thing at Visual Studio is smart enough to know which package you need. So I could also do this. I could get rid of this. And then notice it's telling me, oh, what is FMT? I don't know. But if I say Control S, Visual Studio imports it for me. Okay? But at the beginning when you're learning to program in Go, I prefer you to actually know which imports you need. Okay? And that's the way I did it. Alright? when I was learning Go a year ago, I specifically always imported the packages I needed. That way, I could know which packages I needed and not just let Visual Studio Code do the work for me. All right. So now, for example, when I'm writing programs, uh, um, I don't always place the imports um, right away. All I do is start writing code because I know Go will import the right package for me. Right? But for now, we have to learn to know which packages, so we will always do this part first. Okay? Alright, so this is my hello world in Go. Alright, so let's move this back. Sorry. Okay. And notice we tend to use double quotes for comments. You could also you have a multi-line comment where you have the forward slash with the ampersand. Right? That's also acceptable. But in Go code, we tend to use the double slash. Okay. Okay. So we specify the package, we specify the imports, and then of course we specify the actual code. So we write the functionality. Okay. And just like C++, main is the driver. The program begins on main, and any other functions you write will be outside of main. All right, and then from main you will call them. Okay, but for now we're not writing any other functions, just the main function. All right, so how do you run this thing? You go to terminal and you say new terminal. Okay, and then Visual Studio will open up a terminal for you at the bottom. Okay, so if you notice my videos on YouTube, I had to close Vim and then go to the terminal and then execute the code. Here, we could have the code at the top and have the terminal at the bottom, so you can switch back and forth quicker. All right. Okay, so I need to make sure I'm in the right directory. So where am I? Yeah, right. I'm inside hello. That's what I want. Right. Okay, so I'm in the right directory. And so how do I run this thing? All I need to do is to say go run and the name of the program, hello.go. Alright, and there we have it, our first hello world program. So once again, we write the code, we open up a terminal, and we run the code. Now, one thing I want to mention, unlike C++, where you create an executable, Go run creates an executable for you, it runs the code, and then it deletes that executable. So in most cases, we want to use Go run. Okay, Go run, because it makes testing our code quicker. Alright. Now, whenever we need to actually create an executable that we will use, then we do not use go run. We have to actually do what we do with C++, where we actually compile the program and then get the executable, and then once you get the executable, we'll be able to run it. Okay, but for now, we use go run because it's faster. Okay, so sorry for the long-winded explanation, but I want to make sure that you understand the steps to actually create a Go program. So once again, you create a directory. Make sure you create the module using go mod init and then go tidy, go mod tidy. And then you say code that to open up the directory inside Visual Studio. And then once you're inside Visual Studio, you can edit your code. And after you edit your code, you can run it by opening a terminal. All right. One thing, of course, and this applies if you have not installed the Go tools yet. But whenever you write a Go program, Visual Studio will say, oh, okay, we have some new tools. We have tools that allows you to make coding in Go easier. And that's what it was showing me down there at the bottom. All right. So you could always say install, whatever. Okay. So every so often, it will say, okay, we have an updated version of the Go tools. Do you want to install it? You can always go ahead and install it. Okay. All right. Of course, if you want to change the 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 um the settings for Visual Studio Code, you could always do that. Color scheme. Okay, and you could check and see what scheme you want. But you know, that's up to your preference, or that's your preference. All right. So I'll leave it here, and I want you to go ahead and whatever Go programs you write to practice, I want you to use Visual Studio to do it. And each of those programs must be in its own directory and must have a mod file. Okay? All right. Good luck.